Welcome to a new episode covering a new aspect of the Middle East. After learning about the nature of the Middle East and acquiring main information related to its area, naming reasons, member countries, population, and other general information about the region, we now moving forward to delve into the details of the most important countries in the region and present the most influential and powerful countries in the Middle East. It's recommend referring back to the previous episode as it serves as an introduction to today's episode. Through a series of episodes, we will discuss in detail the most important and influential countries in the region. In order to provide a fair assessment of the countries, they will be selected based on fixed criteria, including historical heritage, military strength, religious status, political influence, economic power, and social impact. Each of the mentioned 6 criteria will be discussed separately to highlight the country's strengths and reasons for its selection. And now, with the country holding the first position, which is Egypt. Before talking about the reasons for choosing Egypt at the top of the most influential and powerful countries despite not being the richest country in the region, it is necessary to read Egypt's ID for the most important information. Egypt is the Arab Republic of Egypt, with area of approximately 1 million square kilometers, with a population of around 115 million people. Egypt is located in the northwest corner of the African continent. It is an African country despite having a part of it in the Asian continent, which is the Sinai Peninsula. Egypt is one of the few countries whose territories span 2 continents, with only about 6 countries in the world considered transcontinental countries. As shown, Egypt is perfectly located in the middle of the world, from east to west and from north to south. Egypt's borders are very sensitive, given the current events. To the south we will find Sudan, to the west is Libya, to the east is Palestine and the Red Sea, and to the north is the Mediterranean Sea. Egypt is the outlet for the longest river in the world, the Nile River, which starts from its sources in Ethiopia and flows into the Mediterranean Sea in Egypt. Cairo is the capital and Islam is the official religion of the country, with a percentage exceeding 90%, to the extent that Cairo is known as the city of 1,000 minarets. The remaining percentage is for Christians, while the number of Jews is very limited and does not exceed only a few thousands. After this brief introduction about Egypt, now we will begin to discuss the sources of power that Egypt possesses to make it at the top of the list of the most influential and powerful countries in the region, starting with the first criterion, which is historical heritage. Egypt is a country rich in history, with pharaonic civilization still fascinating the world till date. Scientists around the world are still trying to uncover the secrets of the ancient civilization, which is still unknown in many aspects. For this reason, a special science was created for the ancient Egyptian civilization, called Egyptology, in a precedent that had not occurred with any other civilization. The pharaonic history is divided into a number of dynasties, estimated to be around 30 dynasties, each dynasty represented by one or more kings. Each dynasty achieved various victories and accomplishments until the state weakened by the end of the 30th dynasty. We now pause at some key points in pharaonic history, highlighting a part of the greatness of Egyptian history. The beginning of the pharaonic civilization was at the end of the Stone Age, with the true beginning marked by the establishment of the first dynasty after the unification of the north and south in 3150 BC by King Narmer. This unification already documented through the oldest and earliest documents in history, known as Narmer Palette. With the establishment of the first dynasty, the first state in history was founded. It's a state by the definition we know today, with its institutions, laws, rulers, judges, etc. As the state founded and ancient Egyptians gathered around the Nile River, agriculture was discovered, becoming a major turning point for the world. As the dynasties progressed, reaching the Third Dynasty in 2886 BC during the reign of King Zoser, the first stone building in history was constructed, known as the Stepped Pyramid, designed by the architect Imhotep. With the expansion of pyramids building culture during the reign of King Sneferu, the first true pyramid, known as the Red Pyramid, was built. In the same dynasty, and by King Khufu, son of King Sneferu, the Great Pyramid of Giza was built, one of the 7 wonders of the world, standing at 149 meters tall with a base area of 52,900 square meters. The wonders of the pyramid will be explained at the end of the video. During the same dynasty, the Middle Pyramid and the Sphinx were built in the reign of King Khafre, and then the smaller pyramid in the reign of King Menkaure. With this, the most famous pyramids in Egypt were completed, which are Khufu, Khafre and Menkaure, located on the plateau in Giza area. Despite the presence of many pyramids in Egypt, the Giza pyramids remain the largest and the greatest. Moving to the 6th dynasty, which own worldwide record which still not broken till now for the longest reign of a king, with a reign estimated with 94 years for King Pepi. Then the 18th dynasty in 1550 BC, when the first organized army in history was established, under the reign of King Thutmose. During the 18th dynasty, the importance of women was strongly emphasized, reaching high positions to the extent that they ruled the country like Queen Hatshepsut, the daughter of King Thutmose. One of the most important figures of the 18th dynasty was the young king, King Tutankhamun, the owner of the treasure-filled tomb that amazed the world, including the magnificent golden mask. One of the most important periods in pharaonic history is the era of King Ramesses II, the most important king of the 19th dynasty, who ruled Egypt for 69 years. Usually the long period of a king's rule be a sign of the country's prosperity and stability. And this is obviously shown in his well-maintained mummy, which considered one of the best mummies ever found. King Ramesses II is owner of one of the most important temples in Egypt, which is Abu Simbel Temple in Luxor City. In a very special place in the temple, called the Holly of the Hollies, the sun aligns with King Ramses' face twice a year, once on his birthday, and the other on the anniversary of his ascension to the throne. It's worth to mention that Ramesses II made the first peace treaty in the history with the Hittites after Kadesh Bat-Tel. Then, the dynasties continued until the end of the 30th dynasty, when the country reached the utmost level of weakness, to the extent that it was occupied by the Greeks, under Alexander the Great. After this brief narrative of events, it remains to discuss the most prominent engineering marvels of the pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid of King Khufu, which the mind still struggles to explain. In specific points, the most important miracles of the Khufu pyramid are as follows. The height of the pyramid is 149.4 meters, and the distance between the Earth and the Sun is 149.4 million kilometers. Is this just a coincidence? The pyramid was built using 2.6 million stones, each weighing from 2.5 tons to 15 tons. Stones are stacked without any adhesive material. The ceiling of the king's chamber is made of granite stone, weighing 70 tons, and the chamber is located at the end of the first third of the pyramid's height. To imagine the total weight of the pyramid, it is equivalent to more than 10 times the weight of the current tallest tower in the world, Burj Khalifa, while Burj Khalifa is 6 times taller than the pyramid. The ratio of the pyramid's perimeter to its height is the constant pi, 3.14, which is the ratio between the circumference and diameter of a circle. All the pyramid's chambers were built with the same ratio, as the ratio of the perimeter of any chamber to its height is 3.14. The location of the pyramid is precisely in the middle of the 5 continents of the ancient world. The 4 sides of the pyramid accurately point to the cardinal directions, specifically the magnetic directions, not the geographic ones, as there are 4-degree difference between the geographic and magnetic directions. The entrance passage to the pyramid points to the pole star, while the inner passageway indicates the Sirius star. It was found that placing food inside the king's chamber does not spoil, it dries out but does not spoil. All these miracles have led some scientists to completely deny that the pyramid is just a burial place for the king. Nikola Tesla, in our modern era, went as far as to suggest that the pyramid is a factory for wireless electricity production. Tesla visited the pyramid and benefited from it in implementing his idea of wireless electricity transmission. At the end, the pyramid remained. We did not mention the hieroglyphic inscriptions, the drawings, or the golden artifacts made with techniques that we have recently achieved. We did not mention